There's never been an easier time to stand out as a man. The competition has never been lower than it's ever been. The standards have never been lower than they've ever been. And if you want me to put it into perspective for you, don't quote me on this, but I heard somewhere that about 50% of men aren't even in the game. They're not even in the game. You're not competing with 100% of the men. When 50% of the dating pool, 50% of all the men of your competition are living in their mom's basement. And I'm not talking about 18, 19, 20, 21. You got 25, 30, 35-year-olds who've just decided this world is too hard. It's too difficult to quit my addictions. I can just live with my parents. I can live in my parents' basement. I can play my Xbox, my PlayStation. I can eat my junk food. I've got my boys on Discord. I've got a place to sleep. I don't need anything really. MGTOW was a thing, men going their own way, where they just give up on women basically and give up on life. The competition is so low, apart from the fact that men are weaker than they've ever been. 50% of the pool is gone. Can you imagine starting a business, any business industry, if 50% of the competition just goes? Money is to be made, and the same thing works here. There's so much to be gained. It's so easy to stand out. In this video, I'm going to give you a full guide on becoming the most eligible bachelor in your city. And there's 6 segments here. I've got your style, your career, your social life, your fitness, your looks, and your personality. So we're going to start with style. Style it's so easy once you learn the rules. I watched a couple of Jose Zuniga videos in like 2021 and I had it like this. Obviously, there are many different things you keep evolving and there are things you want to portray, but the basics are there, right? The main things you need to do to get into shape or into style, to be stylish. I can't speak. The main thing you need to be stylish is you need to be in good shape and you need to get clothes that fit. That's it. That applies across the board, right? Obviously, the quality of the clothing does come into hand, but honestly, someone wearing really high quality clothing but they're out of shape and the clothes don't fit properly is never going to look as good as someone who's wearing cheaper clothes but they fit well and they're in shape, right? So you get into shape, you wear clothes that fit well, you're good, right? Now, there's so many things you can get into when it comes to style, right? So there are 3 main like categories that I could think of, right? When it comes to like how you dress. There's street, there's classy, and then there's rugged. Basically, street is, you wear your Jordans, like the popular stuff, where you dress like a kid. Sorry to you, I just can't help give the jab at street style. Like you're just dressing like a kid, you've got the Jordans on, you've got the baggy pants and whatever, you're dressing like a high school kid. That's what street is, right? Then you got the classy, which I think everyone knows, your suits, you're dressing well, something James Bond would wear, Harvey Specter, Tommy Shelby, whatever it is, old school, timeless, right? Street, that's not street, sorry, that's classy. And then you got rugged. Rugged is a bit like, picture someone wearing like the boots and like those jeans, and then just picture like a really like rough masculine man, like what he would wear. That's kind of what it is. Now obviously for me, I think of course I'm going to choose classy. I think every man should choose classy. I think it's the best one, right? And I'm going to get into it now. Another thing you should learn is that you should always wear a suit when you can, any opportunity. I forgot what the stat was. Something like it's like I think it's like 50% of men. I think it's like 60% of men. Again, I'm not a stats guy, but I've just heard this. But basically, no men own suits. Half of the men don't own suits. And I'm not talking about 18, 19, 20-year-olds. As I said, this goes up to like 50, 60. Never owned a suit. Like, are you kidding me? You wind back 50 years, right? The richest man on the planet and the poorest man on the planet, they'd both be in suits, right? Wherever they're going to work, they're in suits, right? Now you might say to yourself, why do you need to wear suits, right? I saw a post recently. My friend sent me this post about why it's important to dress up, and I saw the comments. There's always so much pushback because guys are just so childish, right? There's always so much pushback. They're like, oh, but all these guys are wearing suits are working for guys who are wearing jeans and t-shirts, right? Because you guys are falling for like the Mark Zuckerberg and all that crap. Of like, oh, I only wear a t-shirt and jeans because it lessens my brain power being used in the morning. What outfit I'm gonna wear? It's like, first of all, once you clean out your wardrobe and you just fill it with really nice, classy pieces, you don't really need to do that much thinking. It just becomes systematic, right? Second of all, those guys you're seeing that have gone to the top, unless you're talking about outliers, like tech nerds, like your Mark Zuckerberg, Steve Jobs, who started these companies. I'm talking about the general person. If you're looking at someone who is in your position and got to the position you want to be, they wore suits. They did wear suits. They wore suits to get to that point. And then once you get to a certain point, you can be like, I don't want to wear suits anymore, so I'm not going to wear. But the reason you should be wearing suits and just dressing classy in general is that I learned a lot of this from Kevin Samuels, is that you should be dressing for outcomes, right? People dress to be like, oh, I want to dress in what's comfortable, what I like. And it's like, bro, your image is everything, right? It determines how many opportunities you get, whether that's in business or just in life in general, how people treat you. I think everyone knows of pretty privilege, right? Where someone who's really attractive is always going to get treated a lot better than someone who's not, right? They have this halo effect that's just around them. Like, people just treat them better. Like, you're not going to be thought of as a pedo. You're much less likely to be thought of as a pedo. If you see some attractive man just sitting there or whatever, they're less likely to be thought of as a pedo. When you just get away with a lot of things. Everyone knows about pretty privilege. The same thing applies to suits. You just get that halo effect. Now, there are countless stories online. Go watch videos. Go watch videos. Go watch Kevin Samuels. He has videos on like why men should dress up. Go watch Jordan Peterson's like little clip where he was on Patrick Bet-David's podcast where he was saying why men should dress up more. Real Men, Real Style. He has so many videos on why you should wear suits. Go in the comments. There's so many comments of people saying, oh, I remember I used to dress very comfortably because I used to wear this. I used to wear Jordans or whatever it was because I wanted to feel comfortable. Then I dressed in a suit. And I was treated completely differently, right? I remember the one from Kevin Samuels. He was reading like a BuzzFeed article of this black man, basically, who used to dress street, and he dressed in a suit for one day just to see how he was treated. And he said, I was going to the bank, people hold the door. They hold the door for me. Just something as simple as that. They hold the door for me. They take me more seriously. At the bank, I'm not waiting in line, right? They're coming to serve me, like, make sure I've got everything sorted. The cashier is so much nicer to me when I go to the restaurant just to sit at a table, right? So I've got a table like this. Service comes so quick. I get everything I want. Everything is proper, right? That was just one story. There's so many stories that people get treated so much differently because of the way they dress. And as a man, you need to start thinking like a man. This is what I mean when I say men are emotional. It's like, no, why should I have to dress in a suit? Or why can't I just wear what I want? And it's like, bro, you're going out there to complete a mission. The world doesn't work on what you want to do, right? If you've got a proper mentality, a go-getter mentality, if you're the man that you say you are, or the man that you say you want to be, right? You do things because they need to be done, so you can achieve what needs to be achieved. Your image is a very integral part of that, okay? When you go into a meeting, when you want to go and close a deal, just picture anyone, like, just things you watch, like your lawyer, for example. I remember I was watching some other video, and just gave an example. It's like, oh, would you rather have, you say something happened and you need legal representation. Would you rather have someone who's got all the credentials, they've studied at law school for this long, they did really well and everything, but they take you to court and they're dressed like with Jordans, like some loose fitting pants and some t-shirt with like a big logo on it or whatever it is? Or would you rather take someone they just a lawyer, they don't have really good credentials, but they dress in a suit? And if you really think about it, like, just your instant thoughts, probably the guy in the suit, right? And that's just how it works. When someone's going out there to close a deal, what do? They wear their power suit because it communicates, right? Image, I cannot explain to you. If you read 48 Laws of Power, one of the laws is your reputation is everything. Guard it with your life, right? Your reputation and image are like this. They're together, right? And men don't realize that because they're just worried about how they feel and oh, I want to feel comfortable when I'm dressed up and everything. And no, you dress for outcomes. If you're a man, like I said, if you're a man who's a go-getter, you do what needs to be done. You achieve what needs to be achieved. And you do what needs to be done to achieve what needs to be achieved, right? If you're going in there, you want to close a deal, you wear a suit, right? And the same thing goes for life in general. And the thing is, people don't realize, they really just don't realize all these All these non-verbal cues, they make such a big difference, right? Something as simple as, and this is something I heard from Kevin Samuels from all his like years of experience in sales and corporate. Something as simple as, oh, we have a client that has come to the city and they need someone to come and like just speak to them or whatever it is, take them out for lunch. We need someone to take our client out for lunch, right? This is not a job for, like the partners and everything. All the partners are busy or whatever it is, right? They go into the room with all the trainees, all the associates, and they need to pick one person, right? It's so unconscious. But if you're the guy that dresses really well every day, always wearing suits, and you got another guy who's like, oh, I'm gonna dress like this because I'm just gonna dress down a bit or whatever it is, they're not sending that guy out to go represent their firm or their company to a client, a very well-esteemed client. They're gonna pick the guy who's always wearing the suit. Something as simple as that people don't realize. So I need you to change your mentality. If you heard this and the first thing you're saying like, why would I wear suits? I really need you to change your mentality from being like, stop thinking like a child. Stop thinking like, oh, I want to wear what I want. Oh, I want to be comfortable or whatever, and think, what do I need to achieve? What needs to be done to achieve that? And you dress appropriately. You need to start dressing for outcomes. Okay, that's something you need to learn. You don't just dress for fun. You dress for outcomes. That's how it works. And then other just general rules when it comes to style is that you want to dress, like I said, you obviously want to wear clothes that fit and you want to be in good shape. But you also just want to have no big logos, stop going around wearing massive logos, and make sure your clothes are always clean, right? Just something, so you need to have high standards for yourself. Like I said, your image is everything. It really is everything. And growing up is realizing that, right? Like I said, 40 laws of power. Your reputation is everything. Guard it with your life, right? You gotta have clean clothes. Even if there's like a little stain, chuck it in the washing machine, right? Just as simple as that. And your clothes should be neatly pressed as well, right? You should not go out with a shirt that's a bit wrinkled or that hasn't been ironed. That is unacceptable, absolutely unacceptable, right? And I think a way you can sort of gauge this or put this mentality into effect is just picture the type of man you want to be, right? Or the type of man you want to be. What is he gonna have? What is he gonna have achieved, right? And just draw up this character of the type of man you want to be, and then think to yourself, what would this person do, right? And if you haven't like drawn up your character or whatever it is, just think to yourself, would James Bond ever go out with a shirt that's not been pressed? Absolutely not. Or would Harvey Specter do that? Absolutely not. So why are you, right? If you want to become that kind of man, why on earth do you think it's okay to go out with the shirt that's not properly ironed or there's like a little bit of a stain on there? No. Have higher standards for yourself. And cologne. Like you should not go out dressed. You should not go out without cologne. You're never fully dressed. I know people say you never fully dressed without a smile. You definitely never fully dressed without cologne. Every single day. Go get yourself cologne, invest. And as I said, don't be childish about it. Don't be like, oh, I don't need to apply it every day. I'm wasting it. Bro, outcomes. When you smell good, outcomes. They're here. Like your life is just very different, right? Non-verbal things. I just told you about the wearing the suits, and a client comes in and they need someone to represent him. It's similar with like cologne. Even like if you want real motivation, right? Even for like women, for example, like if you smell good, +2 style points. Like women have always said that, something like that, right? But just in general, if reputation, again, go back to the 40 laws of power. Your reputation is everything. Guard it with your life. You want to have a reputation for something, right? You want to have a reputation for someone who's always well dressed, who always smells good, right? Maintain that standard at all times, right? Outcomes. Just remember that. When it comes to style, just think style, outcomes. Go change your damn wardrobe and start dressing like a man. Then the second one is career, right? Which is a very like difficult topic nowadays, because a lot of guys are like, oh, I don't want to go to college, it's a waste of time, it's a scam and everything. And I'm not like the most qualified person to speak on it, but I can give you just basic tips, right? And the first one, I think that applies universally. I learned this from Kevin Samuels as well, is your 60-hour work weeks minimum, right? If you're 21, what on earth are you doing? What else are you doing with your time, right? Because you're almost certainly, if you're on YouTube watching videos, you're almost certainly not living the life you want to be living. So what on earth else are you doing with your time other than working? Like, you should be working. And when I say working, I don't mean you're just sitting down at your desk doing work, because I think what people learn, what you should learn, if you don't know this, you should learn it in general, whether you're going into career space or you're going into business, is that it's not just good work, right? It's a two-pronged like axis, right? Hard work, you need to produce the goods, you need to have the goods, but you also need to have good connections. You need to be socially adept. So that's what I mean when I say work, okay? But 60-hour work weeks, you should be working hard, right? I remember something Kevin Samuels always said was that your house or your apartment should only be used for a certain number of things. You go there to eat, to sleep, to poop, and then he said if you're also to have sex, basically. That's what you should be. You should not be coming here spending time on your phone, relax, wind down. What are you doing? You're not living the life you want to be living. Go out there and put in the damn work, right? And if you're young, you're a young man, there's absolutely no excuse for you to not be working a 60-hour work week. Now, I remember I was watching a video a couple of days ago, and he mentioned this actually. He was saying he thinks that's stupid because you should be working on like your YouTube and everything. But something I always say, or that I've realized now, is that a lot of people, you're being led astray by influencers, right? And I'm not saying Hamza is leading you astray in any capacity. I think it's fantastic. But even for those people who are living, the laptop, the beach laptop lifestyle, 2-hour work weeks, whatever it is, they still had to put in a lot of initial work. Even Hamza himself, right? Before his channel blew up, he had like a year, he fully transformed himself, shaved his head, was waking up at like 4 a.m. every day, going out and working out. And then he was spending all his time working on YouTube, and that's what got him, because he did that for a year and just kept building up, right? You're not going to get successful with a 2-hour work week or a 4-hour work week. And again, with Tim Ferriss, again, fantastic book, 4-hour work week, and you want to get your life to there. But in the building stages, you need to work your backside off, right? And like I said, you're not living the life you want to be living now. What else are you doing with your time, right? So you need to put in that work. But even if it's building a YouTube channel, building a business, especially if it's building a business, guys, especially people who want to get into business, a lot of these young men who want to get into business, they're just lazy. You're just too lazy to go to university and get a good degree and go work hard in a career, right? And that's fine if you think that's not for you and you want to go start a business. But don't be fooled into thinking starting a business is easy. It is not easy. Even starting with something like a YouTube channel, not easy. You have to be consistent and you need to put in work. When you start a business, something that people don't tell you a lot is that you're basically self-employed. You're still working a job, but now you're responsible for everything. So you've got that burden of responsibility on yourself. You're taking on all the risk, and you're working longer than someone who'd be working in a career, right? So if you want to go into business, go ahead, right? You're never really going to get rich working for someone else. I think we all know that, right? But don't get fooled into thinking, oh, I'm going to do this because it's easier, it's nicer, I'm going to be able to do it like much easier. It's a lot more difficult. Bottom line is you got to work hard. Don't be fooled into thinking 2-hour week lifestyle, 4-hour work week, laptop on the beach lifestyle. I'm gonna start a clothing line. I'm gonna get so rich. And it's like, bro, you gotta put in work. You need to put in so much work. I'm gonna start a YouTube channel. I'm just gonna blow up and everything's gonna be daisy. Absolutely not. You have to put in the work, right? So that's what I've got for career, basically. Yeah, and also like when you're choosing your career or your business, pick something you like, right? Pick something you somewhat like, because you're going to spend most of your life working. And again, as I said about the 2-hour work week lifestyle, don't be fooled by that, guys. Like I said, you still need to put in the work, the initial work to get to a point where you can do that. And even when you do get to a point where you can do that, you get bored. Like if you're a man of like any substance, or just a human in general, right? We want to feel like we're progressing towards something, right? Look at all the people that retire and then they go back and they find something else to do, because we're humans. We're meant to be progressing towards something. So whether you plan on working on something, finding a passion that you work on for the rest of your life, or if it's simply something you're starting so you can get to a point where you're really rich and you can live a 2-hour work week lifestyle. Either way, to get to that point where you can make that decision, you need to put in a lot of work. And to put in a lot of work, you need to have the mentality, and you need to somewhat like what you're doing. Just somewhat, right? Because you need to be able to do this consistently over a long period of time. And then the third one is social, right? You cannot, like, social is the most important thing. As humans, we are social creatures, right? You've even seen the studies of like, they've done studies on all the people who have lived like really long lives, got into like 100 years or whatever it is. They all have social structures, right? They all have good social lives. Because as I said, we are social creatures. They've said something about like loneliness is as bad as smoking 6 packs of cigarettes a day or something like that, right? It's terrible. We're humans, we're meant to be social, right? So that's just baseline, right? If you want to live longer, be social, right? Those are the studies. And also just from like using your own logic, it's just a better quality of life, a better experience of life when you've got friends, right? I think of something Andrew Tate said, which I'd already thought about a long time ago, right? Which was, you could be dirt poor, but as long as you've got your boys, you're gonna be having fun. Like, life is just good, right? That's just, you know this. You know that having a social structure is incredible. So you should make it a massive priority. If you were to take anything from this list, I would say your main priority this year should be to find like-minded guys, right? Build your group, find your brothers, wherever you're gonna go. Go to church, find some of them at the gym, at work, wherever it is you're gonna go to social events. Don't, like I said, when I said you should always find an excuse to wear a suit, like whenever you can wear a suit. Same thing with like social events. Find any excuse to go to any social event. Don't not go. Like, if you want to build a social structure, and I'm going to get into it just now about why it's important for more than just how happy you are, but find any excuse to be social. If you end up flipping car with the Uber driver, speak to the Uber driver. Wherever you are, if you're standing in a line, try to speak to someone. Build up that social skill. Go to social events, whatever social events you can, and make friends, right? But honestly, just go to if you go to church, and you go to like youth groups or whatever it is, you can speak to people there. At the gym, you can make friends. At work, be social. As I said, for more than just your friend group, just how happy you are, but just in general, like how it builds your life, right? And yeah, so the final part of the social aspect is that social is incredible, not just for how happy you are, but also for your business, right? You need connections. As I said earlier, being successful in either career or business or whatever it is, it's a two-pronged axis. Hard work and socialization. That's where the opportunities come from. I told you earlier about the unseen opportunities that come from dressing well. Same thing applies with socializing. The people who get promotions and get given opportunities, it's usually just because your manager or whoever it is likes you, right? Similar with business. If you want to get business, someone else's business, if you've got good connections, it's going to be so much easier than if you don't know anyone, right? Because they already like you, they want to work with you, and if you can provide them good work, no brainer, you're going to get all the business, right? Networking is important. And also just, I know not most, but basically all guys, right? We all want to like attract women. That's a no-brainer. You obviously need to be social to do that, right? And also, if you want to get quality friends, as I said, if you want to build like a group, you need to be good with your social skills. You need to be able to speak to people, be good at engaging in conversations. I'd say one thing you can do if you want to learn how to be good at engaging in conversations, it's How to Win Friends and Influence People. Go read that book. Excellent book. But I would say if there's something I've taken away, I've read How to Win Friends and Influence People, The Art of Seduction, and 48 Laws of Power. I mean, I'm not through the whole 48 Laws of Power, but if there are three things I found in common with all those books, is that you need to be a good listener and ask good questions, right? Ask questions about the person. Be worried about the person themselves, right? And I made a more in-depth video about this. I posted it probably like a week or two ago. But basically, ask good questions and be a good listener, right? And if you want to make friends, instantly, like, people love speaking about themselves. So instantly, because you're asking about someone and you really seem interested in them, they're gonna like you just instantly. With that, if it's Art of Seduction, you listen to what the person you're trying to seduce wants to hear, or what they're saying. You kind of get an idea of what they want in their life, and you can like give that to them. 48 Laws of Power. Again, if you want to be cynical about that, when you listen to people and you let them speak, they reveal themselves. They reveal their weaknesses. They reveal their intentions. They reveal their strengths and whatever it is, and you can use that to your advantage. That's just being social, really. Just listen to people, honestly. And then when we're going to fitness, easy. Fitness is go to the gym 3 times a week, eat clean, right? And be consistent with that. You do that for a year, your physique will be unrecognizable. That's all it is. Doesn't need to be complicated, right? Obviously, you want to learn like the movements you should be doing. Honestly, there's so many fitness videos you can watch. I've already got my own routine listed. I know what to do. Like, I've been doing this for a long time, or long enough time, right? But really, just go to the gym 3 times a week, eat clean. And when I say eat clean, like, just eat your natural foods, right? You want to be eating meat, you want to be eating vegetables, fruits, and then you want to avoid like seed oils and all that. Like, you want to have like butter, If you want to have carbs, you can have like oats and maybe some rice, but mainly you just want to be having lots of fruits, lots of veg, lots of meat, and some carbs. But just do that. If you do that, you're not going to go wrong. Then your looks. Now your looks will generally improve with, like I said, with the fitness, right? If you're eating clean and you're working out, your looks are just generally going to improve. But yeah, when you're eating, you want to avoid like sugar, processed foods, and everything. That avoids like the pimples and everything on your face. If you want a good reason to start doing that, there's your reason. You'll look more attractive. No pimples, right? If you stop eating sugar and all that crap over a long period of time. Water, drink tons of water. Tons of water is good for your skin. It's good for so many things, but the thing that got me to start taking it seriously is that your skin just looks so much better. Just drink lots of water. And then your face, guys, like when it comes to washing, you should use a face wash. You should not be using the same wash for your face as you use for your body and your private parts and your feet and everything. Like, come on. You should use a face wash. Just find some. I use this one called Oxy. It's very cheap. I've just used that. Use a face wash, and you want to use a face moisturizer. Same thing. Now, when you're using a moisturizer, it doesn't need to be expensive. I know like CeraVe is the one that's been pushed by all the Looks Maxes, and that's definitely something I want to get in the near future. But it's a bit expensive. Like I said, I use Oxy. Oxy is like the cheapest one I saw. And the one thing I heard from Kevin Samuels was that you want your moisturizer to have tea tree oil, so tea tree oil, and salicylic acid. If those two things are there, excellent. Like those are the things that help you. And my one has that. I was glad to find out it does have that. So you want to use a face wash and a face moisturizer twice a day. When you bath, you use your face wash in the shower. Self-explanatory. At the end of the day, before you go to sleep, wash your face. And why should you do that? Because you want to have a clean face when you go to sleep, and you don't want to be rolling around in that bacteria overnight, right? You want to have good pillowcases. Get satin pillowcases. Don't just get like normal cotton ones. Get satin. It's good for your face, good for your hair. There's not too much like wear and tear against your face. It's just good. Helps with like preventing wrinkles and stuff like that. So those are the things you'd probably want to do for your face. And towels, guys. You need to have. I want you to go to wherever it is you go get 2 sets of towels, and the set should have 3 towels in there, right? So you should have a big towel for just drying your body and everything. You should have a medium towel which can use as a face cloth. Like you should be drying your face with your face towel, not the towel you use for your body that you use to dry your private areas and your feet and everything separate. And then you should have a separate towel for your private areas, right, that you use to wash your private areas and you use to dry it. So you should have 2 sets of towels like of that. Please, like it's so self-explanatory, guys. Like I don't know what more I can say. You have a better looking face, you'll be more attractive, you can get the women you want. Basically, that's all the motivation you need, right? And then other things you can do, mastic gum, right? You can order something called mastic gum. You chew it like 10-15 minutes a day. It really works your jawline, and you don't have to throw it away. Like you can use it the next day. I think it could probably last you. It's the one I got was like this big. It probably cost me like it's quite expensive actually. It was like $45, but it was a thing. I've been using it all year. I've had it for the entire year, and I've still got like half of the bottle left. So you just get that. It's a once-off purchase, and then you chew your gum every day. Well, maybe not every day because you don't want to get like TMJ, but I chew it. I make it in conjunction with when I work out, right? So I work out Monday to Friday, rest days Saturday and Sunday. Same with a mastic gum. I chew because your jaw is it's like any muscle really, right? It's like your abs. You still want to work it out so you can build it like any muscle, but then you also want to like be low in body fat percentage so you can show. But here we're speaking specifically about building. Go order mastic gum. You chew it. It's reusable. It eventually like runs out after a couple of days, and then you just take more from the thing, and then you chew it. It's good. It's good for your jawline. And then if you want to grow like a beard, you can use minoxidil. I've been using minoxidil for like a year now. I literally had nothing when I started, and now it's growing. It's still a bit patchy, of course, so I keep it like well groomed and everything. But you can go get minoxidil to grow your beard out of nowhere. Trust me, it works. You have to invest in that, but you have to put it on every day. You have to be very consistent if you want a beard. And I know they say beard is like it's like makeup for men, so could help. And then if you don't like it, you can always just shave it off. That's what I think. If you really want to get a beard, I think you can go do minoxidil. If you've ever been wondering about what you should be putting on your face, 5% minoxidil, A star. And yeah, you also just want to sleep very consistently. Again, like I've said, with sleep, if you want to make the most of your life, like you need to sleep. There's so many studies. I can't even begin to cover them all on how good sleep is for you. Get your good hours. It doesn't need to be like 9-10 hours, of course. It's like we all have different thresholds. Apparently it can be like between like 6 to 6.5 hours or 8 to 8.5 hours, like for the general population. But just aim to get like 8 hours of sleep. Just aim to get good sleep, and most importantly, make sure you sleep and you wake up at the same time every single day. Changes your life. Productivity wise, if you want to build something, if you really want to, you don't want to have like all that brain fog and you want to be productive in your life, that. Mental health, fantastic. But here we're speaking about looks and stuff. It's good. It's so good for you. Like you age less faster. Less faster, that makes sense. You'll age slower, right? It's fantastic for you. Sleep, get it. Get your sleep. And always be well groomed. So like you want to get like a nail, what's it called? Like a set of like, where you cut your nails. It's got like a toenail clipper, a normal nail clipper. It's got like a file. It's got like a cuticle cutter or whatever. I know some guys might be like, oh, it's gay or whatever. Like, honestly, dude, like, they're not telling you to go paint your nails, go get a flipping manicure. Like, cut your damn nails every week. Just cut them so, you're not going around with these long nails and these dirt in them and everything. Cut your nails every week. I've spoken about, like, bathing and making sure, like, you're clean, applying your cologne every day. And having a fresh cut every single day. Not every single day, sorry, every week. Have a fresh cut every week. Every 2 weeks, like in general, but for me, I feel like my hair, like it's been a week, I'm gonna cut mine tomorrow. It just doesn't look as clean after a week. Like if I try and go 2 weeks, by Tuesday of the second week, it's already not looking too great. But everyone's hair is different, of course. If you're like a different race, it's probably gonna be different for you. But at least max every 2 weeks, you gotta get a fresh cut. Or if you're doing like an old money cut, where you're not cutting off the sides or anything like that, and it's very like durable, you can go longer. You decide what hairstyle you want to get. Again, in conjunction with what I said about dressing, like with your style, you want to have like a classy style. Same with your hair. Just keep it clean and fresh. Like keep it short and proper, right? Again, what I said about outcomes, the same thing applies to your hair. And make sure your image. I said your image is everything, so you want to make sure you do that. And then your last one, personality. All personality is having a masculine demeanor and then an abundance mindset, right? So you know what a masculine demeanor is. You're just very masculine where you go. Kevin Samuels used to call it like my CIA man, confident, intelligent, assertive. You want it like you know what it is to have a masculine demeanor, and then an abundance mindset is sort of, you don't want to have one itis. You find that one girl and you're like, oh, you just think about her all the time and she's the only, like, you're doing your absolute best. Like that's how you end up being like a simp or like a nice guy, and then you like repel her, you start acting desperate. And women have a nose for desperate men. They can just smell desperation, and once she smells desperation, it's over for you, right? So just having an abundance mindset, be like, I'm working hard on myself, I've got options, and even if she doesn't like me, there are other women out there who like me, or whatever it is. That's it. Something I did steal, I'm going to steal this from Chris Williamson's Modern Wisdom podcast, and he had Alex Hormozy on it. They spoke about something Chris heard from I think it was Robert Glover, and basically what he said was that the 3 things that like attractive men have, not attractive men, what is it? You call it attractive men, but not like physically attractive, right? Like, but men that attract women is that they're comfortable in their own skin, they know where they're going, and they look like they're enjoying going there. That's something you can think about, basically. But you get what I mean with the masculine demeanor, and with that, it's I'm confident, I know where I'm going, I'm comfortable in my own skin, like I'm really comfortable, I'm not desperate, like trying to get people's approval or whatever it is, because that's just a repellent in general. But there you go, guys. There's the full guide to becoming the most eligible bachelor in your city. Make sure you just like follow the things and you do it consistently. Like with many self-improvement things, once you know what to do, honestly, it's just about doing it consistently over a long period of time. But yeah, make sure you subscribe to join the Self Improvement Brotherhood. And until next time, see you boys.